Castro, Urdiales, a fine town on the Bay of Biscay between Bilbao and Santander. Traditionally a fishing port, but nowadays increasingly popular among tourists. But more people also mean more wastewater. A new purification plant is therefore urgently required, and hence a new wastewater pipeline. The purified water will be discharged at sea every 50 meters via diffusers from a 600-meter-long pipeline on the seabed. For the construction of a wastewater pipeline in such situations, there is a customary but fairly complicated method. A construction hole is dug on the rocky shore, from which a hole is tunneled out to sea. Because the sea near the coast is shallow, a pipeline on the surface would eventually break loose through the action of the surf and wind. A deeper hole must therefore be drilled so that the pipeline remains protected beneath the sea bottom for the first few hundred meters. An exit hole for the pipeline is then blasted with explosives. Next, a 400-meter trench is excavated, again with explosives, in which the pipeline can be covered with rocks to protect the pipe against the power of the seawater. All in all, a fairly cumbersome and hence expensive method. It should be possible for this to be done differently, simply and better, the engineers of Houstadt and Timmerman Boortechniek considered. The Duisburg company specializes in horizontal directional drilling for the construction of water and gas pipelines. Houstadt and Timmerman is always looking for new methods and improved solutions. And again, in the case of Castro Urdiales, they came up with a method that was as simple as it was unique. Why not keep drilling beneath the seabed and only surface again where the sea was deep enough? Houstadt and Timmerman came up with an alternative solution, and they were the only drilling firm to do so. 2 pipelines and 2 separate boreholes were needed on the North Spanish coast. One for a short storm outfall pipeline, used only to handle exceptional discharges, as in the case of heavy rainfall, and one for the ordinary lengthy wastewater pipeline. Houstadt and Timmerman erected their rig on this rocky countryside high above the coast. There the pilot drill entered the ground. With unprecedented precision, the pilot drill found its way towards the sea right through the hard, fragmented limestone. Many hundred meters out to sea, the drill bit punched out above the seabed again, trailing a string of pilot pipes. Part 1 of the construction process had been successfully completed. Meanwhile, Dragados, the client company, had also been working hard 30 kilometers further along the coast in the bay at Santander. They prepared 2 long strings of HDPE pipe, connecting together by butt welding, one 250 meters in length for the storm outfall pipeline, and one of 600 meters, the ordinary wastewater pipeline. The 2 900-millimeter diameter strings would shortly begin the journey behind a tug to the Castro Urdiales coast. Now that the course of the new pipeline had been prepared by the pilot drill, the borehole could be brought up to size in a number of hole opening stages. Around 1200 millimeters should be enough for a pipe of around 900 millimeters. Divers continually checked the progress underwater. Once the diameter of the borehole has finally been achieved, the borehole must be jetted out and cleared of cuttings so that the pipeline can then be drawn through the hole without obstruction. At the exit location is now a floating Dragados pontoon, the workstation at sea of the Houstadt and Timmerman people. These are now bringing up the swivel, the connection between the pilot string and the new pipeline. First of all, a concrete pipe guide structure is placed on the sea bottom, where the pipeline is entering the borehole. On land, that is child's play, but underwater, in a turbulent sea, a totally different story. The final, but in fact most important element of the work is now at hand. Out at sea, the 600-meter-long wastewater pipeline, which has now arrived, is fastened to the pilot string. Openings are made in the pulling head so water can enter inside the pipe to lower the buoyancy of the HDPE pipe. The wastewater pipeline is now ready to be drawn to its destination through the drilled hole. Centimeter by centimeter, the long string approaches the rig on the coast, and one by one the pilot sections are disconnected. Finally, the supreme moment. In the middle of the night, the pipeline emerges above ground. The horizontal directional drilling method used by Hallstatt and Timmermann has worked, and the construction of the wastewater pipeline at Castro Urdiales has been a success. Hallstatt and Timmermann have the knowledge and the experience, the people and the equipment to carry out this type of project successfully anywhere in the world. However big the problem, the company will come up with a solution, as in the case on the rocky coast at Castro Urdiales. Hallstatt and Timmermann, solid as a rock.